So picking up from where we stopped last time, we're going to talk about the normal flow. Okay, so in the first video we talked about the box model and how you can use it to manipulate the elements and to make the elements on your web page and lay your page out. Um, so now we're going to talk about normal flow. And the concept of normal flow is basically how browsers render your pages. Browsers render your pages or your code line by line from top to bottom. So whichever element it sees first, that's the one it's going to render. And this goes it's very important for when we start dealing with elements. So you have to nest elements or put elements inside of elements to make a design or make a layout. It's very important to keep in mind when you do that, so you can actually know exactly how the browser is going to render your page. So going back, so I'm going to go ahead and close all this out. This is from last time. All right. Okay, now we're going to play with, I think it's 6.2. I lied. I did it last time. 6.1. There it is. You're going to let's open up the one that says box1.html. Okay. I'm going to open this up in Notepad. Alright. Split it up again. In my Internet Explorer. Alright. Yeah, so right now ignore the left side and concentrate on the right side. Our code, because we're going to actually render our box1.html file in a few minutes. So this right here is in box1 or the box1.html file. You notice it has two divs. Alright. It has div1 and div2. Now you notice these dots right here. We've been playing with IDs since we introduced CSS. CSS also has what they call class or classes, and what this does, a class is applied to particular sections or parts of a web page. So you want to make have a particular section of the web page have a certain format. You will give it a class. If you want with IDs, if you want a particular element or particular type of tag to have a certain element or certain style, then you would actually use an ID. So that's the difference between the two. With the class, it goes along with or applies to a style for a whole entire section. A ID pertains just to one element or just to a element. Alright, so we have our two div tags here, div1, div2. If you come down here to the bottom to our HTML, and you'll see we have our div1 right here, and we have our div2 right here. So let's go ahead and open up this file, our box1.html file. Let's open that up into Internet Explorer so we can see exactly what this page looks like. So I'm gonna come back over here to my Internet Explorer. Open. This was 6.1 and box1. Ooh, copyright. Ooh. So there you should have two boxes in your box1.html. So you have a really big blue box at the top and a really small white box at the bottom. Alright, and that's, if using the concept of normal flow, that is what we should have. Because in using normal flow, the reason why they have ending tags, open and ending tags, is because when the browser renders your code, it reads that first tag first. Okay, so it reads the opening tags. Okay, This is open tag. This is a div tag. Okay, this is the content that's inside of a div tag. All right, and it looks for that ending tag, div tag, and says, okay, this is okay. This is how I close the div. Okay, anything. This all this information right here is for that one div. And then after it sees that closing div tag, then it starts looking for other tags to actually start rendering. Yeah. So so for this particular example, it it now it after the closing div tag, it's another div tag waiting for opening tag that's waiting on it. So okay, so I got to open the tag. Okay, let's go ahead and open up this brand new one. That's render the information that's in it, and then we close it out. Okay, now dealing with now this is really good, but let's say I mentioned earlier that now you're going to get into the concept of actually nesting information or and nesting tags, so you can to help make your page layouts. And so what we're going to do now, all right, we are going to nest or put our div 2 inside of our div 1. All right, so using our div 2 right here, you're gonna put this div right here inside of this one. So I am going to cut my div tag right here. I'm gonna cut it, and I'm gonna put my div inside of my closing div, my first closing div. Okay, so right here I have my first div, the open tag, the information that's inside of it, and then right here, this is where I'm gonna put my second div tag on my second box. So I'll go ahead and paste that in there. Aha, nice. Alright, so now you should get something that looks just like this. You should have the first div, its context, then you should have that second div come up. It's going to open up that text, and then you have the closing div for the very last div, the div that you just opened, and then you have another div tag that closes the very first div that the browser looked at. Okay, so with our change to this, let's go ahead, save it, and let's re-render our this file in Internet Explorer. There you go. So now, because of the normal flow, it now has placed our second box inside of our first box. That's because we put our second box, we put it actually inside of the first box. So you put it inside the first div. So you have our first div here. Close that out. And we have, and then we open it up. You say okay, and then it saw that the first box in it. So it's like okay. Then it comes down here and sees that second open div tag. It's like oh, okay. Okay, now we can open a brand new another div. Like, okay, that's cool. And then it comes down after it reads the div tag. It pops up here, and it sees that second one. It sees that okay. So we just open up a new one. Let's go ahead and close that one. And here's the closing tag for the very first one we had. And that's how I was able to actually put that box inside of that one.